haven't been to one of those.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah, I remember I went to Hughes Hangar one night, and it's back when I had my own radio show, and I was on TV, The Power of Transformation with Tina Marie. And so people that I was with, like I actually had a group, they weren't an entourage, they were just buds, right? But they said, tell them that you're with the media and they'll let you in. I'm like, really? Oh, cool. Okay. So I'm with the Power of Transformation, a TV show, and da 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 da. And they're like, come on in. I was like, what? Work. Little did they know I don't drink. I was the designated person that night, but everybody else got to go VIP, and that was an interesting thing to watch. So we are here for Bonfire Connect. Welcome. It is the month of April. Can you believe May is right around the corner? Always say that the years fly by. The good thing is that we get to have more fun each time because we're getting older and wiser and realizing what's truly important in our lives. And tonight is no different. We are going to be learning how to hold our value and claim our worth. Whether you are a career professional or an entrepreneur, business owner, we're going to be talking about that. And then also we're going to be talking about our value inside, right? And how do we articulate that not only to ourselves, but to the world. So let me say hello to some peeps here. I see we have some guests. And so, wow, hello, Tanya. Tanya is there. Great. We are recording. So if you want to stay anonymous, you can even change your name. 3 dots at the top. You can change your name to Lady Gaga, Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, whatever you'd love to be tonight. It's cool. Whenever I go into Starbucks, sometimes I'm an alternate personalities just so I can hear my name be something that everybody's like, really? That person's here? It's kind of fun. Have fun, right? And hello, Dewey. Hello, Yasmin. Nice to meet you and see you here. Lindsay DeBoard, always a pleasure. And Cindy St. Cyr, Pamela, David Flanagan is joining us. Woohoo, Joe Hux, cool. Look at all these wonderful people. We still got people coming in. And so, Pam, do you get to see when it says admit? Can you be hitting that button? I just keep beating you to the punch. Hello, Hashem. How you doing? Hello, David. Okay, so we're going to get started. And what we'd love to start with, I'm reading your notes here, Pam. Thank you for the notes.
Don't tell everybody.
I'm very open and honest. I need notes. I need guidance. Yes, I think we all need guidance. I need bumpers on the bowling lane. So I hit a strike, and at least most of the time with bumpers. And so we wanted to welcome and then give space for whoever has some wins. So in Bonfire Connect, we do it just the way we do with our coaching. We start with wins. Where are the accomplishments? What are the shout outs? What can we celebrate together with you? And then we drop into our content today, and then we always leave space for what are your questions? If there's any questions, you can be using the chat to type those in. If you hear something that's a takeaway, like, oh man, I'm writing that one down, go ahead and type that in the chat so everybody can give you some high fives there as well. And then we're going to round out our time together tonight with what are some takeaways from our time together that made your time absolutely worth it. Guarantee whatever your share is, it's going to cement in somebody else's memory from our content tonight and make it even more valuable. So we start with wins. Who has some win celebrations? And we have a lot of our coaches on. So we've got Coach Kara, whoop, whoop. We've got Coach Hannah, we've got Coach Michelle, we've got Coach Jeff. This is awesome. Got so many wonderful coaches. And I saw Dewey here at one point. Maybe he is somewhere else. He's here. Maybe.
Incognito.
You're incognito. Who'd you become? You may have, there you are, DG. I see you now. Cool. And so we start with wins. So who would love to share some wins, accomplishments? Then just raise your hand. We'll call on you. Cindy. Hey, Cindy.
I had a great week. I don't know if you all know, but my music business kind of took a big, gigantic dive due to COVID. So I basically lost my music business for the time being. And so I went back to Mary Kay. And this week, I had my best event ever. I had 15 people show up on an event, which is more than I've ever had show up on one event of my own personal guests. And I had more sales than I've ever had in one event. And it just was like shocking. I could hardly believe it. I mean, it just blew me away. So I have to say that I'm very excited to know that it's working.
Yay, way to go. And thank you for sharing that with us. Woo-hoo. And I know I'm a customer, so ladies or gentlemen, if you'd love to have some wonderful skincare, because we all have skin, last I checked, and wonderful makeup, Cindy is our source.
I'm the one.
So you can type in the chat your information because people are going to be going, I want some. I want some. So thank you, Cindy, for sharing. Who else has some wins? Wins, celebrations, epiphanies. Yeah. There you are.
Did you say Pamela or Kara? I'm sorry, I thought I heard you say Pamela.
I'm sorry, I meant Kara.
Okay. I'm becoming somebody new today. This is a personal win. My mom, who is 90, was very excited, obviously, to have me come back from Saudi Arabia. She's been wanting to take a drive through Houston down memory lane. She hasn't driven to Houston. She lives in Conroe. So we basically spent the weekend together. I picked her up and we drove back to Houston and spent about 6 hours driving around the house she grew up in, my dad, me, and it was just a really fun time. And she was still so excited about all of it. She called me the next morning and was just still like, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was so much fun. So that was a really good win for me.
Congratulations. Oh my, that touches my soul. That really does. You know, those, we're talking tonight about our value and our worth. Hello, that's it. Contribution, right? We know here in Bonfire that the highest human need is contribution. Whenever we can be that light for another person, that's why we're here. Isn't that awesome? Congratulations. Big hugs to your mom too. That is so fun. Got time for one more win, celebration, takeaway.
I have one.
Yes, do we?
I dog sat stepdaughter's Sheba for a whole week. We got to be really good buds.
Oh, what kind of dog?
Sheba.
What kind of dog? Is
A
Sheba
Sheba.
kind of, it's a
That's
Sheba?
that is the breed.
Never
Sheba.
even heard of a Sheba. Somebody look up a Sheba and like put it up because I don't even know what a Sheba is.
What's a Sheba? What's a Sheba?
It's a Japanese breed.
Cool. So what is Sheba's name? Because I was thinking that was her name.
His name is Mochi.
His name is Mochi.
Yeah.
This is fun. My son wants a Sheba, Michelle says. This is cool. I'm learning something new. See, we always learn new things here at Bonfire Connect. So did Sheba, did Mochi go home?
Sunday.
If you need to babysit or doggy sit, I have one. If you want a new pal. She loves people. She loves people. Cool. Thank you, Hashim. I'm going to see what this dog looks like just because I need to here. Wow, those are beautiful dogs.
Beautiful dog.
That is a beautiful
And
dog.
very smart.
Wow.
In less than a year old, he figured out how to unlock the kennel.
That's kind of cool. Awesome. So here we go. I want to drop into what we say we're going to connect with tonight. And I'm going to share my screen. See if Facebook can keep up with all this stuff. We're also streaming on Facebook. It's kind of fun. So tonight it's maintaining your value. We always say here at Bonfire Connect, your goals and your dreams go better with your coach. So if you are teamed with a coach, find more availability to tell your coach as much as you can about what you'd really love, where you'd really love to be. And let's not allow that saboteur mindset to keep you stuck any longer. It doesn't play here within Bonfire. And with that, just to do a little drip, we have the we have Abolish Your Saboteur coming up in May 21st and 22nd, an actual live event. Here in our offices, we have a limited seating for the live event to 12, and then we're going to be on Zoom as well. So if you'd love to learn more about that, simply go to bonfirecoaching.com, and it's there on the front page. And we'd love to have you here because abolishing your inner saboteur gets all of that stuff out of the way that allows you to be your warrior, allows you to step up. And we're talking about that tonight. And I'm also looking at my notes again, making sure I don't miss anything because Pamela does set me up for success. And yeah, she did. Okay, I'm ready, Pam. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. So maintaining your value. I like to keep it open. So if I press play, it takes up the whole screen. So I'm just going to keep it this way so I can see you guys, right? And I can also have the chat open and be watching the chat. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, just know that I'll be watching that as well. So here we go. Your worth and your value is paramount to your confidence and to who you see yourself being in our world. And we deal with so many things, be it on the media and the news. We hear about people who are, just selling themselves short, who are in a lot of pain mentally and emotionally. And it starts with understanding what is your worth, what is your value, and how to maintain that. So like I said earlier, whether you're a career professional, entrepreneur, business owner, we're going to be helping you tonight with some things. And you're even going to get to do some math, which is fun, right? Math is good because it equals money. So here's some questions that you get to ask yourself. Do you value yourself? That's where it starts. Do you have healthy boundaries? Healthy boundaries with other people? Because our value is our time. It's our time and our attention and how we articulate our value and our worth to our world, to our circle, to our sphere of influence. And if we do not have healthy boundaries, we can be giving ourselves away. And at the end of the day, we are alone with our own thoughts. And when we're alone with our own thoughts, if we're feeling low self-esteem, lack of appreciation, lack of value in our world, that is a sign that somewhere we have probably not had healthy boundaries. Do you keep your word to yourself? This is a huge one, especially in coaching. If we do not keep our word to ourselves, then when other people don't keep their word to us, oftentimes it's easy to look outside and go, oh, you betrayed me, you've lied to me, you're taking advantage of me. However, it needs to start here. So we get to recommit. We get to recommit to ourselves. And many times we promise ourselves something and do not see it through. So we shore up our own agreements with ourselves first. And what then happens is that our word becomes gold and we start to keep our word to others even more. And it's not like we're using it as some kind of baseline of this is who I am and what I do, so you need to do it too. The truth is, we keep our word to ourselves. If we keep our word to others, we're going to rest well at the end of the day, and our soul's going to believe in us. And that is so needed. Would you say yes? Just raise your hand if you go, yeah, this is very much needed. Then how do you allow yourself to be treated? We've got to be honest with this. If we allow ourselves to sometimes be a doormat, or maybe somebody who allows themselves to be taken advantage of, they go the extra mile, and we may, as friends, hear them do what we call the 5 C's here in Bonfire. The 5 C's are complain, criticize, commiserate, condemn, compare. Those 5 C's are taking our power away. And oftentimes we'll do that if we believe we've not been treated well, right? So I want to be conscious of these things. And then how do you communicate your needs into the world? So valuing yourself is actually speaking up. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on our little slideshow here. And then how do you value the needs of others? Because yes, we can at times and primarily think of our own needs. Whenever we also think of other people's needs, whether we're a career professional or a business owner, we're going to be able to amp up our own value because we're concerned with or keeping in perspective what other people need as well. It's a partnership. Oh yeah, that's what we do. So let's dive into the next 3 slides are going to be about entrepreneurs. So if you're a business owner, yay, say, hey, I'm a business owner. So if you're a business owner, just go shout out in there. That's me, that's me, that's me. I'm a business owner. And coaches here, Bonfire coaches, you're business owners. So that's me, that's me, that's me. Entrepreneurs often do not ask for in the marketplace what they're worth. And more than that, they'll bargain. They'll give discounts. They'll settle. I know. I'm one of those people. That's why I have a team around me like Pam. Thank you, Pam. That reminds me of the value we have here. And we do not lead with discounts. Just did that with a client this morning, did a sales training for a team. And the first thing that we realize is that the main business owner, whenever she meets with a prospect for her services, she'll say, and we offer discounts here of 10, 20, or 25%. And I'm like, why do you do that? You don't need to lead with discounts. That diminishes your value. Just say who you are, what you do, what your value is, and why you want to work with this person, and ask. They get to ask for discounts. We do not lead with discounts or coupons or things like that. Just let them ask for it. Ask for the goodies. Ladies, I'm sure that you've been shopping and we're there at the checkout, right? We've already said yes to this particular clothing item. Who's with me? You're like saying yes to the clothing item. You get there to the checkout, especially if you know some stores, you go, huh, is there a sale going on right now? You got a coupon you could just like scan over there? But we didn't say yes to the clothing item knowing that there was going to be a discount. The discount and the coupon's like a little bonus, right? We're still going to get it. We're still going to buy the item, right? So as entrepreneurs, we need to know what we're worth and not discount ourselves. Second question here, your lifestyle desires. Do you know what you truly love to have as an income and evaluation of your worth and your wealth in your life? And are you positioned to gain it? Will your business get you there? And this is an honest question. Sometimes with business owners, we need to say either you're going to pivot, you're going to increase your services product line, or you need to sell and get into a business that is going to get you where you would love to be in a faster time than simply arduously making that happen. So we do have a limited time on this planet. We need to tell the honest truth about it. And do your products and skills meet the desires that the public has? There's a billionaire that I got to interview and he's awesome. He said it's Dan Fleischman. He said the most important thing you need to do as a business owner is to ask yourself, am I solving an important problem for people? And if I'm solving an important problem, then am I solving an important problem for a mass of people or just a few people? And that's going to determine your value in your marketplace, and that determines the value you have in your pocketbook. So I want to have you do some math here for the business owners on the call tonight. You ask yourself, what do you want to make in a year? So I used a $200,000 goal for salary, and we're going to use this as math. So if we want that, and I get, even some new startup, entrepreneurs come and they say, they'll move from career into startup mode and they want to take home $1 million in their salary in year one. So not that I want to poo-poo anybody's goals or visions, that I've seen it happen. We also want to tell the full truth and have a plan for those things. So we use the $200,000 goal here in salary. And whenever that happens, as business owners, we take into consideration operations, keeping the lights on, rent, all the expenses that are associated with a company, internet, having a cell phone, marketing, and then there's taxes. And then if you have other resources that are also doing work for you or for your client, you have to pay them as well. So we're going to take all that off the table. And if you are the person doing the work and you're a billable resource to your end client, sometimes you could take home 40 to 50%. And then how much do you really want to work? So you're going to back into that $200,000 goal and come up with your hourly rate. On this next slide, I'm going to show you, we're going to be shocked at how much your rate really is. We're going to tell some truths here for business owners. And then if you are the person reaping the benefit of other people working for you, you hire them, they become part of your operations called payroll, and you're paying them to do the work. Oftentimes you're going to be able to take a 20% or 40% cut of that, and that can be the basis at which you're going to pay yourself as the owner. So truth be told, you're looking at needing to generate anywhere from $400,000 to $1 million in cash flow in order to have that $200,000 salary. And so why do I put this slide up here? One, for reality check. We need to be honest with ourselves as entrepreneurs. What do we truly want? And are we willing to do the work that it's required to get to that number? And so do your math, commit to doing your own math and keeping yourself committed to that and strategic in making sure that you're measuring effectively and owning your value. This will help you, as long as you have that goal, not discount your rates, not discount your services, not go over and above unless you're going to bill for that. So this next piece, hold on one second. Okay, so something I forgot to put on here, back to this, and I think it may be in another slide. Business owners and entrepreneurs oftentimes go over and above because it's who you are. You're that kind of heart and soul person, but you don't bill for everything that you put in. Make sure you're billing. And if you have a contract in place that you have change of scope and a scope change that the client signs off on, so they understand that they're getting more value and they're going to pay for that too. Whenever your clients say, you know what, I'll pay you more to do this, take them up on it. Take them up on it. Don't just go, oh yeah, that's just nice, I'll just do it for free, because that's a habit for yourself to do things for free. And then you wonder by the end of the year, why are you stressed out, overwhelmed, and did not make the money that you set out to make? So keep your word to yourself. And when the client says, bill me extra for that, please do it. Have a system ready to do it. Say, great, I'll send you the invoice today. It's the law of circulation. You want it to work for you. Okay, so if you've got some things, in fact, one of our business owners is coming in. I wish I could just rewind what I just said for him. I'll give him the replay and listen up. Hi, David. We just went through slide 1. I'll put this up here just so you could see a rehearsal. This is your value. And as business owners, I said, we need to do our math to pay ourselves. And whenever people say they're going to pay extra for extra services, we need to bill them for it. So we'll catch you up. Minutes 1 through 23. You'll have that in the replay. So the next slide here is still in entrepreneurs, and we're going to get to the career professionals in just a little bit. The next slide is that. Entrepreneurs, we want to tell the truth. What do you really want to make? And so that was slide 1, is your lifestyle. What's it going to take to live the lifestyle that you would absolutely love? We make sure that your business is aligned to get you there. The services and the people that you're serving, they have the availability to pay that to you, and that product is of value to them. So they're willing to have your services and your products. Now, here you go. Let's have a little bit of a shocker. So take your annual cash flow now in your business, and you're going to divide by the number of hours you spend in your business. Now, most of the business owners that we work with, they go, oh my God, I'm working like 60 hours a week. Seriously, you want me to do that? You want to take the number of hours that you spend in your business per year. So take those weekly times 52, because not all business owners take time off. That's another thing we can do in another time for another talk. And you take that annual cash flow and you divide it by the number of hours you spend in your business. Now, I would, in some of our other chats, I ask our business owners in my mastermind to put that in the chat. What are you really worth? So I'm just going to do some math for you. So if your annual cash flow, let's do an average of 500,000, and our many business owners are going to spend anywhere from 50 to 60. I'm just going to do 55 as an average. Times 52, that's 2860 hours in a year. And so if they're doing 500,000 and they divide that by the 2860 in a year, their rate is $174, rounded to 175. So they're making 175 an hour. Now, if your business is making 200K divided by that same 2860, your rate is $70 an hour. The reason why we want to start knowing what these things are is so that we can do math and say, am I billing what I really need to bill to my clients in order to make what I want to make? Take that billable rate, and welcome, Dr. Jackie. Your assignment from the coach will be that you're going to be watching minutes 1 through 26 for the replay. You're going to take that. Let's say it's at 70. I want you to triple that. So you're going to divide that point by point. No. Hello. You're going to multiply that times 0.3. Hello. Yes. I'm doing my own math over here. You should see my calculator buzzing. You're dividing your $70 an hour by 0.3, because that's a third. And that means that you need to be at a $233 bill rate. So if you are a billable resource, you're not going to be billing your client for anything less than $233 an hour or a session, right? This all adds up to your value. This is how you articulate your value to the marketplace. And more than that, you're articulating this value to yourself. And if you know that I'm putting in so much and not reaping the rewards of this, then we need to start looking at upping your game, upping your rates, upping your goal, and definitely upping your plan. So then we're going to talk about career professionals, and I'm going to move into how do we increase our value to the marketplace overall for all of us. If you've got some takeaways here, go ahead and type them in the chat. Let me see. Type in the chat because I'm reading it. Okay, career professionals, I'm going to give you some insights here on your value to the marketplace. And I know some of you are coaching with us because you know you're worth a lot more than your employer is paying you. And you've got some concerns of going into the job market and what do I ask for? What is my marketability and how do I know? So your marketability, you can do some research on things like Career Builder and things like that. But the truth is, I want you to start networking with some people that aren't in your profession, that are not in your company, but are in like professions. And you get the courage to ask them, I'm doing some market research and I'd like to know what my value is in the marketplace. And I'm just wondering, would you be willing to share what you're making? What's your comp plan at your company? And I know it's been taboo for people to talk about money, especially salaries with people out there. But the truth is, you're not going to know unless you ask. And people are more willing to tell you now than they were ever before, because we're realizing in the job market and careers, companies, corporations have done one thing, and that is keep their people as underpaid as they can so they can have more cash flow and more margin. However, whenever you work with Bonfire, what we do is we push that envelope. We push it because we know what you're worth and we can tell what your value is because we see so many people that we work with. And generally, people are going to get a 15 to 20% increase. And we've even gotten much more for our clients. In fact, one of our clients in January said, I'm making more than I've ever have, and it's almost double my salary that I've had before. So we need to push the envelope, and we'll help you do that research. If you're working with your coach, let's go ahead and get that number so you'll have a range of knowing what your negotiation power is. One way to articulate that is what's your value to the employer, depending on the role that you're in, especially if you're in sales, you're bringing in cash flow. If you're in business development, you're bringing in cash flow. If you're in product development, you're bringing in cash flow. You're building products that they're going to sell for buku's more money than what you're making. In fact, generally one product sale is going to cover your salary, right? So we want to know what your value is to the employer that gives you leverage to negotiate. Also, some of the jobs that we find ourselves in are cost reduction type jobs, meaning you're going to create efficiencies. You're going to eliminate certain costs that the employer has because you're a great resource in the role. So in your interviewing, you get to ask questions to understand the cost and expense benefit of you being in that. We would say things like, with your ideal candidate that is in this role, help me understand the cost and expense benefit that you foresee this role being overall to not only the department, but to the company. And you get to ask that question. And yeah, they may look like deer in headlights for a little while, but they're going to be able to articulate it because people in directorship or leadership need to be able to speak numbers or they're not justifying their own role in the company as well. This is gold. We always want to counter offer your offer letter. So whenever you get the offer, if you're looking for a new job, and many of you are, you want to make sure that you counter offer, and your coach will help you counter offer. The reason why, they're going to sell you at, they want to bring you in at the bottom tier of their range of compensation. It's just how things go. They want to have more budget to work with, not only for salary and compensation, but maybe for other services that their department might need. And you're a total package within their budget number. So you just know that first offer letter, I know sometimes it could be so much more than you're currently making, or it's so attractive based on where you've been. And we want to just go, yes, okay, I'm in. Don't leave value on the table, because what we don't want to have happen is that you regret 3, 6, 9 months down the road that you didn't counter offer. I'm like, oh man, that was way too easy. Maybe I should have counter offered, right? Who's ever been there? Like, did I just leave value on the table? Yeah. And that's the worst feeling. It's like, oh, I could have asked for more, right? So you're going to work with your coach to counter offer. We do it gracefully, right? We help you with the counter offer letter and the language, and we have some really great ways to do it. And he's like, how close could we get to? So if they offer you, like, say 125, and you and I know that we're going for 140, they simply go, so I'm curious, how close could we get to the 140 number? What would that end up looking like in salary, bonus, percentage point? What's that going to look like? And it's not, I was expecting to get to 140. That's really what I wanted. So I was wondering if you could offer me that. No, that's a little pushy, but how close could we get? How close could we get to the 140 number? Help me understand, right? So you're partnering with them on the negotiations. It's so much nicer. So you're going to counter offer. And the next thing is you don't ever, I learned this one from experience. This person did this. It was painful and it was dumb and I was young. Never use an offer from another company to come into your current company and go, hey, they want me and they want to pay me this much. How much do you guys want me for? Oh my God. That's just bad juju. I didn't know. I was young. I was naive. Well, my current company did counter. They countered right at that margin of what another company was willing to pay me. And I never got a raise after that. Never got a raise, never got a bonus, never got anything because what I do, I told them that I'm looking. I told them that I'm a gun for hire. And if you don't buy me, then I'm going to walk. They didn't give me strategic projects after that. So I stayed another 2 years realizing I just put nails in my own coffin. So I used that last 2 years. One, it took me probably a year to wake up. Then after that, I used it to strategically make some connections inside the company before I bowed out and said, love you guys, got to go. So don't ever use another offer to make your current employer increase your value and your worth, your title or your compensation. It just is not good. We can help you if you want to stay within your current employer. A couple of our clients have done this. One recently that I'm speaking on, he wanted to move to a whole nother group. And so we just helped him strategically network and position himself inside of another group. He interviewed internally and got that role. And of course, that role did afford him more value and more compensation. Again, another thing this mind will do, it'll say, well, I'm starting over in a whole new group. You know, I'll just do a linear move. I'll just do a sideways move of compensation. No, we're going to increase your compensation no matter which way you move. We don't go down, we go up. Then the next is your full compensation is more than just your salary. I know you know that. So we want to total the entire compensation package across the board and have you understand your value. And there are places you can push that envelope also, such as bonus, title level, equity, stock options, shorten the vesting time period for that, and then also profit sharing, right? So there's different ways to increase your value. Where do we give our value away? And I'm going to go quickly through these because I want to get to some Q&A and I want to get to some conversations and some real issues that you may be experiencing right now. So be thinking of those things that you'd like to have our coaches help you with. Where do we give our value away? We have assumptions, lack of clarity. We make assumptions. We don't put it in writing. We don't really articulate it well. And then from that, we'll have regret. We'll have those unhealthy boundaries for communications. Not being clear on the expectations of what you're doing for the value that you're being compensated on. Or we say yes to a whole lot of things because we want to be that happy person to say, yes, you can depend on me. And that's another place where we do not have healthy boundaries for our value. We just keep saying yes, and they stack because an employer or even a client, they're going to get as much out of you as they can. It's like that orange, you know, whenever you're juicing it, you want to get all the last bits of juice until the orange goes, I ain't got no more. Well, you need to have your, what is my standard? Working 45 hours a week, especially now with the stay at home and the flex, is great. 50 hours and a push, but don't make it a regular thing. You need to have work-life balance. And even business owners, you need to give yourself time off. You need to give yourself time away from your business. It's not the best thing ever to stay in your business trying to make things run, because what's happening there is you're becoming inefficient, and inefficient businesses do not add value to you or to your clients. Then, like I said earlier today, we do not keep our word to ourselves. And if we don't keep our word to ourselves, we're not going to keep our word to our clients, and they're not going to keep their words to us. It's a very bad toxic relationship. Do not overcommit without renegotiating. Do not go over the commitment agreement without renegotiating your value, your worth, and your compensation. And any change in scope requires a change in contract. And do not get high on hopium. High on hopium is, well, I hope that they're going to see my value and they're going to value me. They're going to give me a great testimonial. They're going to give me a great referral. It's all going to come around in the end. And I'm that Pollyanna too. However, we still need to maintain our value financially in the marketplace. You can still be that positive person. However, communicate your value and get what you're worth. Where do we also give our worth away? Our self-worth is the most important thing that we give away. And that's tolerating too much. Whenever you're settling and you're taking it and taking it and taking it and taking it, it's going to stack. Then you're going to blow. Not pretty, especially if inside your own mind and your own belief in yourself. And if we settle for less than what we know we're worth or what we want, then you live that mundane, mediocre life. You're worth more than that. And not speaking up and having courage. So here's your antidote to turn it all around. First, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, because all of us do this from time to time. When you say, every single one of us, there's something on what we've shared tonight that fits. It just does, because we're human. We're all growing. And that's the beautiful part. We're all in this together. So none of us gets out of this without having not kept our word, or settling somewhere, or tolerating something, or not claiming what our value and our worth is. So fair enough. You want to find your trust. And your trust starts with what we talked about tonight. Telling the truth. Tell the truth of where you are right now and commit to a higher standard for your life. Declare your value. If you don't know your value yet from a commensurate way, let's help you get there so you'll understand what your true value is and how to get it, how to declare it. And then commit to the highest good for all. Because sometimes we can say, well, this is about me. This is what I want. And as we learn here at Bonfire, that's below the line. And below the line where we go, me, my, and I, it can feel powerful for a little while, but the truth is it's not fulfilling over time. We want to also have our good be good for others. And there's a partnership in that law of circulation, which I've hinted toward tonight. So once we know that our good is also good for others and there's a balance there, then wow, we can sleep easy. Life becomes more effortless and beautiful and fun. Definitely set your standards and go a little higher. I know for me, I love my life, right? So we can even raise our hands and say, I love my life. I love my life. And then there was a part of me, I don't know, like 15 years ago, that thought, why do I want more? My life is so good and I've got so many wonderful things. And there's so many people on the planet that do not have this life. And so I started to feel guilty. I started to feel guilty of wanting more out of life. And then I realized if I want more out of life, then that means I want more out of myself. That means that I want to become more valuable to the world and to humanity and to solving the problems that other people have, because we can. So now my outlook is the more I create, the more I can contribute. So part of our becoming, part of our evolution, part of our wanting more is part of our giving, part of our contribution to others. So set that in your soul, that the more I make, the more I'm able to give, the more I'm able to contribute, the more I'm able to help create and help grow others also. And then concentrate on your growth. Definitely concentrate on your growth, because that will allow you to feel like I was saying, you're not in it just for yourself. There was another line down here that is really minuscule on the font. And so I want to see what I wrote. And that would be formatting. Hold on a second. We're going to reveal what this says. It's not just about you and your needs. Yeah. You do concentrate on your growth, but the truth is this life is not just about us. It's about others. And once we hold that as a perspective where we're in it for everyone, then life is fun. And I know that's who we are here, because we wouldn't be part of Bonfire if we didn't believe in the law of circulation, the law of attraction, how it all works together. So now I'm going to say, what are some not takeaways, but what are some questions, comments, needs? What are you going through right now where you'd like some new perspectives on things or new strategies on how to approach something? And I'm going to move this over. I'm going to stop sharing so we can see each other and see what we've got here. So thank you for your comments. I love this. This is so fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hannah said, Hashem, this one's for you. So I guess your coach was saying, are you paying attention there?
Yeah, I saw it.
What'd you take away from our talk tonight?
That I have a lot of work to do,
And you get to, isn't
but
it?
you can only one step at a time.
There you go. It is a step-by-step process. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. Good job. I'm so glad you're here. This is awesome.
Thank you.
And then, Kara, you asked, how do you determine if when you are a cost center? Great question. A cost center, we're all a cost center. If we're working for someone, if we're a career professional working for someone, we're automatically a cost center until we can create more value in cash flow for a company than we cost. So a cost center equals, there's overhead associated with a position. Your butt in a seat in a company, even if you're remote working from home, is still a cost. There's overhead for management, for structures, for policy, legal, the products and services that are being developed that you would be contributing towards or helping to sell. So there are operational costs for every business that is running, right? Getting curious about those operational costs and being intimately connected to understanding them allows you to speak the language of business so that they can realize that you're not just entitled or feeling like you're owed something, that you want to participate in earning your value. For costs, most costs are going to run a company anywhere from, let's say 25, 35 at a high end. Hopefully companies aren't running at a 40% margin on costs on operations. However, some markets do, especially whenever there's downturns and they don't have the cash flow coming in, they're trying to save operations or save the company. So once we understand, and if you are on payroll, you're automatically a cost. Your payroll is a cost plus the overhead margins that are associated with you and your department. And then from that, you want to earn the company money. Being there isn't just for your good looks and because you're charming, as you're going to give some benefit to the company overall, and you want to be a really strong leader in helping drive that value so you can drive more value to your bottom line in your career. Did that answer your question, Kara?
I love the answer very much so. I'm actually thinking in terms more along the lines of when you are, let's say, in a learning and development department, you are not actually creating any inflow of cash. Right. You are not only by your butts and seats, you are a cost. Well, I guess that really did kind of answer my question, didn't it? It's just hard to, how do you determine your value at that point as far as what you are contributing, even though it's measurable? I did 12 classes, in whatever amount of time. How do you actually put a value to that?
Well, ask your clients. You've got internal clients, right? If you're a training center inside of a corporation, they have justified your training to be beneficial to your internal clients. So go ask. What's this value? What's the value of this training internally? How do you grow as a leader? What does that mean? Maybe it's a reduction in people who are leaving the company because they have better leadership. They have better appreciation. They have an energy-rich culture. They're able to attract top talent because people are staying on the top of their game. And if they have top talent, that allows them to have a competitive edge in the marketplace from a sales and production perspective. So it's all articulatable up the line of value for any of us. I mean, any of us. We have value in either our business or in a career position. Yes, Dewey.
So an example would be, you may help the company reduce risk in some types of training. For example, FCPA, or in my position where what I'm doing now, internal audit. I mean, those type anti-bribery would be another example. You're not actually generating income, but you're reducing risk to the company, and some of these risks can be quite costly if they do occur. Yeah, is one way of looking at it.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. Very helpful. Thank you.
And even business owners. So we want to communicate to our employees their cost cash flow benefit to the company, because them not knowing allows them to develop a mindset of, I simply want to raise. And because somebody else got a raise, I deserve a raise too. And helping them understand that structure. I remember there was a gentleman who came to my office, and Dewey worked with me at one of my previous companies, Blueware. And we had a lot of employees. We had a pretty big company. It was awesome. And so he came to my office one day and he wanted to talk about the margins that we were paying him and wanted to basically demand more money. So I sat him down at the table and I said, sounds great. Let's break it all down. And so I had a huge whiteboard. I've always loved whiteboards in my offices. My teams know that. And so I broke down all the cost structures of the company, what the costs were. I broke down the HR costs, the payroll costs, the legal costs, the the production costs, the training costs, the sales costs, marketing costs, all these costs. Didn't even put in owner's pay yet, just all the costs of the company. And then also said, this is what it costs to maintain your benefits and those types of things. And so, and every $100, it's costing our company anywhere from $50 to $60 to maintain your role. And so he started to have an appreciation for, wow, it's costing a lot and you are paying me a lot here. And so it was great for him to realize that, and he stopped asking for raises and he gave us leads. He said, here's some leads, go get them. So he became an advocate for what we were doing because he saw the hard work that was behind the scenes. So business owners, you get to tell your team what it costs to run your company and make them advocates of the services and the products that you're bringing to the marketplace. And then they start to understand their true value. And it's needed so that, they're just not looking for increases. They understand how to create more value before they ask for the increase. And so with that, Yasmin, did you get to stay on? You came back on.
Yes,
Great.
I'm here.
Yay.
So I work for sort of like a small family-owned company in an EPC world. So when and I know I'm underpaid for what I do. I'm in sales and I've been filling the pipeline of business opportunities for my company. But to your point, our company has been through a lot. We went through Chapter 11 bankruptcy and COVID happened. So I haven't gotten a raise in like 2.5 years, and I've never gotten a bonus because they never have money. So when I know we have some wiggle room because they're hiring people because we're expanding or whatnot. But when it comes to their own employees, they're like so cheap because, they say we don't have money and this is the cost of the running the business. We're just out of Chapter 11. It's like the current employees are afterthoughts.
And so you're like stepchildren, basically.
Yes.
Right. So what I'd love to empower you to have, if you're willing, right? And thank you for being our guest tonight. So nice to hear your voice. And I know that you came referred by one of our beloveds that's also here on our call tonight.
Yes, Dr. Jackie. Yes.
Yeah. Is that have an honest conversation. So courage is necessary. Have an honest conversation and sit down the people that would have the decision-making power to give you more compensation and say, what can I do? How much will I be needing to bring in cash flow for the company in order to warrant an increase in salary or increase in compensation? Just help me map it. Let's map it and graph it, because I want to have some bigger goals, as I want to help the company too. And I want to know where I can focus my time and attention that's going to most benefit. And if they give you that, if they really, what we call open kimono, if they open kimono, tell you what, this is what I need. This is what we're looking for. Great. I'm that person. So you're telling me that once I do this, then this will be my reward, and get it in writing, right? You got to get it in writing. One of our previous clients / friends of our company, she was the lead salesperson over a firm that saved water for apartment complexes. I won't give you all the details, but basically they reduced the cost of water bills for apartment complexes and large high-rise buildings. And so she was the salesperson, and she was paid, she was going to be paid like $40,000 in a salary plus a little bit of commission. So she started there, and then she understood how much savings was going to these apartment complexes, and she saw that the company itself was undervaluing itself. She's like, wow, we could be charging a whole lot more money for what we're doing. We're barely making a margin here. So she went to the owners and she said, tell you what, I'd like to work for 100% commission. If I get to determine the pricing of the proposals that go into these apartments, and I get to bring the money into the company, I'd like to work for a commission. And she gave herself 20% commission, 25% commission, no salary. She did the math. And they're like, No salary? Really? You don't want to get paid? You just want to get paid on what you produce? Yeah, I want to get paid on what I produce, but I want to do my own proposals. So she went in and she started negotiating these deals, $1 million deals. Hello, 25% commission on $1 million deals. That's the money. The owners, what was cool, the owners went, you're making more than us. And she's like, but we negotiated this. And they said, we need you to go back to salary. We need you to go back to salary. And she's like, no. And she didn't have any competition. She didn't have any, I can't compete with you. There was no contract. So she quit and started a competitive company. And you can go find her now at savewaterco.com. And Save Water Co. has become a multi-million dollar firm. And she was a 40 under 40 top Forbes winner. She's an amazing individual, awesome person. She was on Oprah. She's been on the cover of Inc. magazine. And so why I share this, Yasmin, is that whenever we think outside of our own box, because you're in a structure and a rule set right now that the corporation is deciding for you, you get to strategize on how you want to play. And oftentimes, unfortunately, business owners that aren't really savvy about how to compensate well will be strangling out their top producers. And so that's what happened with our friend. And so she ended up competing with them, and then she ended up buying their business years later. So I give you some ability to be strategic and think outside your own boxes. And if whatever your lifestyle is that you want and whatever compensation you know you deserve, I give you permission to go get it. Deal?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. But I think a lot of the problems is the word she. I've had a lot of peers that have come and go at my company that were compensated $50,000 to $100,000 more than me.
Yeah, that's another challenge, but it's not a doomsday anymore where it has been in the past, right? We live in a new world, so you get permission to go above and beyond.
Absolutely, and it's not okay, right?
Yeah.
So
no, it's not okay. And that's that fire inside of you that allows you to go above and beyond what you're currently experiencing, because you know there's more. You know there's more out there. Cool. So who else has questions? Would you like to raise your hand? By the way, I want to say there was a win. David, you weren't here at the beginning. Do you want to share your win with our group? Because we've been watching and following what you've been doing here. Can't hear you just yet. Let's see. Unmute one more time.
There we go.
There you are.
Which one? Our new space?
I love your attitude. Yeah. And which one do you want to win? There's a lot of growth that you've committed to for yourself and your company, and you're making it happen. So I thought you could share with everybody your wonderful journey.
Yeah, we have been, working on this for a long time. We thought we were going to expand. We knew we were going to expand this year, but we thought we were going to expand in our current location. And I had started negotiating last September, actually, to be able to do it in our current space. And for whatever reason, it all works out in the end. They were very, very slow in getting a new lease. We were basically taking over half of our current floor, which you would have thought they would have been incentivized to make happen, especially during a pandemic,
right.
But they weren't. So long story short, we looked at other options and found that there was a commercial real estate space available, and have finally signed the lease and have started build out this week.
Awesome. Congratulations. Way to go for it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Who else has any questions? I'm still reading the notes. Lindsay, you shared here, having worked in the security field for a long time, it can be hard to articulate ROI on services that prevent problems, but it can be done. Yay. As Dewey said, it's more about demonstrating what you are preventing in the value add vis-a-vis the specific service. And we have to, because mitigating that risk, there's a friend of mine who's in the, just like you, background CIA, and he helps mitigate these hijacks that happen in people's websites and their portals that deliver goods and services through the web now. And those ransom notes that are being requested are millions of dollars of ransom. And yes, it could take a lot for the CIA or the FBI to be involved to shut them down. And oftentimes they don't. And so mitigating that risk, and you have to depend on it. You have to say, we guarantee this at some level. You stand behind your value and your expertise. That allows people to find trust in your price tag, right? And guarantees are, if you can, guarantee your services, it's always a benefit and helps to relax the client as they're investing in you. So questions, anybody have questions? No? Okay, yes, Dewey, question. Then we're going to talk about some takeaways. We're going to have room for 3 to 4 takeaways from our time tonight that made your time here absolutely worth it. Yes, Dewey.
It's an add-on to your nail in the coffin scenario, and that was when you're internal. But what if you're out and externally you have multiple offers? And you were to pit them against each other, aren't you still putting a nail in a coffin in that scenario?
We don't really say it pitting against each other, and I can understand your point of view here.
Yep.
We say, I do have multiple offers that I'm considering right now.
Right.
Though we don't say who it is or how much it is.
A politically correct way to say it.
Right. Thank you for your offering. Usually what we do is we'll get an offer in and we may be waiting for another offer of the company we'd really love to work for. And we're like excited that we got an offer. So it's a boost to our confidence. However, we're waiting for the offer of someone that we've already interviewed with. We want to be stage 2, stage 3, and we're expecting an offer to come in. We can say, help me understand when you're going to be making an offer. I do have some other considerations right now, and you're my top want. I'm really waiting for you. How much time do I need to wait? And then you go back to the first offer and say, can I get back with you in 48 to 96 hours? I have had an offer where we've waited an entire month to get back to them and saying, I am currently still interviewing and there are some considerations on the table. I'd like to have a month to get back with you. And because it was a high profile job, that employer was willing to wait a whole month for this person to get back with them on the offer. So there's some negotiation we can do there.
Yeah, thank you.
We just do it nicely. We do it nicely. So what are some takeaways from tonight? We're talking about value, owning your value. First inside your mind, right? You got to keep your word to yourself. You got to value yourself. You have to trust yourself. Hold your standards. And then to the outside world, whether you're a career professional or you are an entrepreneur and a business owner, right? So what are some takeaways from tonight that made your time here worth it? Raise your hand, unmute your mic. Can't see everybody, so I do want to hear from everybody, at least for you. Yes, Kara?
As always, new ways of saying things. I love the way that people articulate, and so I always take that away with me. But in addition to the formula as an entrepreneur and what it's going to take for you to make, I think that's extremely valuable. But then you just added, you have to find that value inside your mind as well. And so it's the melding of that process to be successful. So thank you for the reminders.
You are so welcome. And Yasmin, I saw that you had your hand up. Did you also want to comment and share?
Yes, my comment was, don't take a counteroffer from your current employer.
No, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
That was my takeaway.
Yay, awesome. Awesome. I want you guys to hold your value in the marketplace. You're worth a ton. Yes, Hashim.
Yeah, I would just say knowing your value, but I think it's important to have the right mindset. And because if you have the wrong mindset, and you're going to sabotage yourself.
Yeah, that lower mind will sabotage us, won't it? It will.
Yeah.
So we come from energy richness and above the line, which you're learning here so much. I love it. Yeah, we have time for one more takeaway, something that made your time here absolutely worth it. Thank you to everybody who's participated. I love seeing you. One day we'll get together in person again. If we don't have one more takeaway, I'm going to call on somebody. You know how I do that. Yes, Lindsay DeBoard, I was going to call on you, woman.
I know, so they might as well just volunteer. Yeah, I'm sure Hannah and I will discuss this more tomorrow, but I'm in a bit of a conundrum, but it's a good one. I was offered a position today that I had interviewed for about a month ago.
Mhm.
It is in Texas. I am, as you know, in Louisiana. So so there are some, lifestyle and personal things to address there. But I guess the thing that I want to highlight as a takeaway is that during the call, because I have had so much engagement with you guys, I was better prepared to say, yeah, that's nice. And he offered more than I expected he would salary wise. And it was generous, more than I thought that they had to give, to be honest. But I said, like, I need to give it some thought. I have a lot of moving expenses that would be involved in this. And I pushed on, a flex schedule if they had that available, and
Right.
living allowances, because, it's a lot for me to kind of take on if I do decide to take it. So I was pretty pleased with myself to push those things back, which is not really in my nature to do. Like, I think I know my worth, but when confronted with it, I've often been like, that's great, I'm glad you like me. So
Right.
still a lot of things to digest and figure out, but for sure, I think knowing your worth and being able to articulate that in like a diplomatic way is a
Right.
big deal. And I'm grateful for all of you guys for setting me up for better success at those conversations.
That's awesome. You're a powerhouse. Go, Lindsay. Woo-hoo. Keep us posted.
I will.
I'm sure you will. So thank you all for your time tonight. We do this every month, the last Tuesday of the month, Bonfire Connect. And whether you have coached with us or are coaching with us right now, you're invited to this. We want to form that connection, that tribe where we depend on each other. And there's also a place inside of Facebook where you can be part of the Bonfire Inner Circle. And so if you're not yet part of the Bonfire Inner Circle, please let us know. Simply reach out to hello@bonfirecoaching.com and let us know that you're not part of that group. That's our miss. We do the invitations. We want to make sure you're there. So you can share your wins, ask your questions, get your resources. You've got a ton of amazing professionals that are here for your success and fulfillment as well as theirs. So use those resources. Also go to bonfirecoaching.com. We really want you to be in the seats that abolish your inner saboteur. I cannot stress enough how amazing that transformation is. We got some thumbs up happening here. Dr. Jackie, you want to say some words for that? And I'd like Hannah to say some words for that, because abolish your inner saboteur, it will take you from here to in a very short time frame. Dr. J, you want to say something? Unmute your screen, and then we'll talk to Hannah. Yes.
You just got to be there.
That was good.
That's all there is. Hannah's been there. Kara's been there. Michelle's been there. David, have you been to Abolish Your Inner Saboteur? Oh man. Lindsay, have you been?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you guys need to get there. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You just got to be there.
Hashim, you want to be there. Totally. Hannah, what would you say? Thank you, Dr.
I already
Jackie.
registered.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how to measure the energy and the transformation that happens at it. Hannah,
So can I say something else?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So I don't even know what to say about Abolish, except it's just amazing, right? But if you're on here, and I don't know, there's names here of people that I don't recognize, but if you're on here and you are thinking about doing career coaching and you really want to make a shift, I get to like sit beside this woman and see her. I get to listen to some of the stuff she does sometimes. It's amazing the jobs that she helps people land. Okay.
And our coaches, not just me, our coaches.
Well, yeah, and the coaches, but I mean the program when I say you, okay, the program. It's amazing. I get to hear little bits and pieces, but if you're wanting to up your game in that area and find like the job of your dream, then you got to do coaching with them. Do that. Do the what is it? What's the name of that program?
We have Career Essentials, but more
Career coaching. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you. And same for business owners. Hannah, what would you like to say about Abolish? She's got a warrior name, and her warrior name is
Abundantia.
yes.
Abundantia. So what I will tell everyone who has not participated in the Abolish event is there's a few things. The first is that as we develop as humans, you are here, you are part of coaching, whether you are an active client, a interested client, or a participating client, past client, it doesn't matter. You understand that you have reached out to up your game. You've reached out to have a deeper understanding of yourself. And I put in the comments about like having your own self-trust comes with following through. The Abolish event is so energy rich to help you understand what it is that holds you back, what it is, the words and the language and that saboteur voice that we all have. This is a human behavior. It's a human dynamic that we have that keeps us stuck. But the way that it's presented and the way that you uniquely unfold it within you is so powerful because you get a hold of it and then you're able to understand the shift, right? Not only what it is that holds you back, but where it is that your power is actually held. So there's power in knowing who you are and what's held you back, but the power that comes from understanding who your warrior is, putting a name on it, putting characteristics around it. I have seen this change the entire physiology of humans, and it's changed my life. Absolutely. I've watched it change a number of clients' lives around me, and I just highly recommend. I can't recommend it better. And it's really fun because this is going to be our first in-person event, so we get to really hold the energy physically for you and be there to support you. And if you're able to attend in person, I will guarantee you that you will leave changed. I think that this is an event that you cannot come and leave the same person. It's not possible. So, and Joe, I see you. I know you're up for this. Joe's job is coming around the corner. I'm waiting for it. But also, I mean, just with Abolish. So if you haven't signed up yet, highly recommend it. We're going to be there and hold space for you and for your transformation.
Yeah. And somebody's asking, when is it? Yasmin, it's the May 21st and 22nd. All you need to go, there's a link that Pam put in the chat here, and it'll tell you all about it. There's a video and I'm talking to you about it. And then we're also loading, I need to get with our web person to load up the testimonials. We have like 100 testimonials for people who have been through it. Just getting them on the web. What is that? There's
Dr. Jackie, don't show that picture. Do not show that picture.
Yeah,
that's Hannah
Hannah just said you can't leave the same person. This was a photographer extraordinaire here captured
arms crossed, don't mess with me picture.
Coach right there, man.
That was Hannah,
badass bonfire coach attending. Yeah,
don't you mess with me.
Night of Abolish.
I'll smack you.
Yeah. So get ready.
I don't know about this.
Love you, Hannah.
It changes your whole physiology. That's all I'm saying.
The next day, that person was gone. The next day. We have plenty of those before and after pictures, man. We do. It's awesome. So you just want to simply be there. It's like, so
there's Abundantia.
There is Abundantia. Yeah. So we want you there. We definitely want you there. We have space for it. And the people that are meant to be there, your energies all combine and we up level together. It's, I can't even tell you everything. It up levels me as the trainer and the person in there with you. I'm being primed right now every single day leading up to that, because I know who's going to be in that room. And, we're all vessels, we're content creators for the unseen that's working through us. And if you want to take yourself to the next level, you'll be in the room. It's cool. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Career Professionals is always on the, what is it, Pam? Second, third Thursday? I forget. Second Thursday of the month at noon, Career Professionals calls. Then you get the Bonfire Connect last Tuesday of the month. We're here for you in this group environment. Find us on Facebook at the Bonfire Inner Circle. Use your tribe. We're here to be used. We love you all. Have a beautiful night. The recording will be in your inbox tomorrow. Bye-bye.